It is 2:05 on April 22nd, 2024. And this is a special meeting to discuss, budget. So the meeting's open, declaration of pecuniary interest.
Read it?
You want to read it?
I can read it.
Sure.
So we've received one from Amy Mazie, who has declared a pecuniary interest on item 11A on the April 22nd council agenda due to that she's currently serving as a firefighter. And then we've received a declaration from Trevor McVeigh, declared a pecuniary interest on the fire budget item on the April 22nd council agenda due to him as well being a volunteer firefighter.
Thank you. Any discussions arising from previous council minutes? We don't
We
need to
can-
approve
you can
council
just-
minutes,
yeah.
so we're gonna jump right into the municipal superintendent's report and spring amnesty dates for the landfill. So. Okay, so first let's discuss the landfill dates. Are we also discussing budget with our?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Okay, so does anyone have a big opinion about the landfill amnesty dates? It could be Saturday, the 25th of May, Sunday, May 26th. Oh, and this is what is suggested, and Wednesday, May 29th. So Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday.
I didn't get that report from the superintendent report.
No, I can give you, you can hold my copy.
I don't know. I don't think I got it.
What is the report? Just this?
It's just these.
Oh,
Just the dates.
Oh, not.
And
This
landfill.
is just a special
Yeah.
item to be put on the agenda because we would like to have those dates set for the residents.
So what is the long weekend in May? Actually, that,
18th.
18th.
okay, so
So
it's,
the Sunday and the Wednesday are regular landfill days are open. So the only additional day for the amnesty would be the Saturday for 4 hours. The Sunday is already open for 12 till 6 and Wednesday.
and then landfill hours would start Sunday, May 19th. This makes sense to me. Is everyone in agreement? It's the
Yeah,
week
good enough
after,
for
what's that?
That's good. Yeah.
Okay, so who would like to move it? Counselor Deputy?
Sure.
And, yeah, okay. Be it resolved that, council receives, moved by Counselor Deputy, seconded by Counselor McVeigh. Council receives the municipal superintendent's report for information, and be it resolved that council accepts the recommendation that the 2024 landfill amnesty dates are as follows. Saturday, May 25th, 2024, 8 till noon. Sunday, May 26th, 2024, 12 till 6. And Wednesday, May 29th, 8 till noon. And further that landfill summer hours will begin Sunday, May 19th, 2024. All in favor? That's carried. So then we'll go to the Public Works budget.
Did you want to discuss fire first? Since you- Or did you want to do it the other way around?
Well, or should we do it so our superintendent can leave?
Sure.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, sounds good.
So he doesn't have to. So just if you have any questions or item of concern for our town superintendent. And this is the Public Works. Well, I don't really have a page number.
No, all the public works begin, the ends with 030. That helps. The last numbers on the account number.
I had a question under communications. The budget for this year, is it an issue to mention numbers that are stated in the budget? The budget for communications is $1,600. And, I guess that's towards cell phones. Something about increase in cell phone invoices in 2021.
2021.
That's what it says on the.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah.
beside it, yeah. I can answer that for him.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you asked my question.
Oh, yeah, we were just asking about the communications line for $1,600, talking about cell phone invoices, an increase in 2021. Who are the cell phone, how many cell phones?
We
are-
have 2 cell phones.
3 cell phones?
Yeah.
Because we have 3, employees.
Yeah.
Basically.
So in 2023, we changed the plans.
And it went down.
Yeah, so we restructured all the cell phone plans because they were just too robust for what they were actually using them for. So we scaled them all down and ended up getting them actually new phones, but cheaper plans. So
So the 2 cell phones that our public works employees have, is the old style flip phones.
They're
Just
flip
good for
phones.
phoning and that's it.
Oh,
I have a phone, I can access emails and send emails and text and what have you, but the other ones are the basic.
well, they must not be very expensive, the flip phones.
I can tell you what it was.
Well,
You're spending $40 a month between 3
Yeah.
phones and that's up pretty quick.
Yeah, it was 1,545. He's asking for
Last
16 this year.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the question there?
I wasn't aware that our employees, I guess I assumed our town superintendent had a phone. I wasn't aware that the other employees had one.
Oh.
That's what I was surprised at, especially that they're seasonal too.
Yeah, like, I think there's many reasons why I have a phone, and one is obviously when they're at the landfill, stay on their own, you can't be there with communication. Something ever happened, you know, you're attacked by a bear or
You can't
attacked by a
expect
crazy
them,
person, they have to have some way of phoning out.
you can't expect them to use their own phone.
One of our polywork employees doesn't have a phone of his own. The other one has a phone of her own, like her own personal phone, so yeah, that's probably one of the main reasons to have a phone, and that we need to contact them after hours for, you know, whatever reasons.
Okay, so on the first page of Public Works, does anyone have any questions or concerns, Counselor Austin?
You got here brushing, tree removal and ditching. And then somewhere else you got. You're gonna use the sand from the ditching for the. Gravel pit?
Well,
Are we
that was
doing all
planned,
that, or-
they decided that,
Maybe next year.
yeah.
Oh, but it's on this year's budget.
Yeah, I actually wondered if it was other ditching
it's brushing.
or brush.
That was the brushing we did at San Baden.
That was last year. Or this year.
The brushing that we had done, brushing / tree removals, part of it was done end of last year, and it's only on the last year's budget, and then it was finished this year, so that's already been spent, not the $1,900, I can't. I don't know off the top of my head, but, that brushing was end of 2023 and finished in 2024.
So you must still need the $9,600, right?
No, I can go find out, but I think we spent $7,000 or thereabouts to finish the brushing this year, like it's been done already, we've already paid for it,
Oh, it's
Oh.
done, okay,
So it's 7,000?
That's what we spent so far, yeah.
yeah.
a little bit extra, you're gonna have it anyway for.
Yeah.
Do we need to have beaver trapping as a line? We didn't use it last year.
No, I know,
I'm just saying, we have miscellaneous.
yeah, I mean,
Could be a problem.
Well,
From year to
Oh.
year, it varies. It's, I don't know what we have for a trapper now.
Dan Whalen, if he still does it, he would use it.
He won't be doing it, he won't be doing it anymore.
let's not mention anybody by name.
Oh, sorry.
We have the trapper in Beaver Lake that's probably available.
Yeah, there is a
You can't
trapper.
just use any trapper, you have to use a trapper that's designated for our area.
For the trap.
Like I can't call Joe Smith from Western Olive and trapper either. The person that we've been using in the past from Nairn is our, unless it's changed, is our trapper for this area. You can't bring in another trapper from another area to do somebody else's area, that makes sense?
Yeah, so this gentleman that we've been using, he was not a replacement.
Why did I didn't even know that he wasn't doing it anymore,
Well, we didn't have an issue last year, so we didn't need them.
yeah. And the only beaver problems we have had in the past were the ones on the ditch from McDonald Street to the tracks. That was where they spent our time with beaver trapping. And that issue, I'm pretty
It's
sure
cleaned
is
out.
resolved, so. Yeah, we know,
For now.
we need a beaver trapping this year, so.
I may be wrong, but I believe the township can hire someone to trap without a trapping license for the area.
Like if somebody else is traveling, not.
Just for new beavers.
I don't remember. I couldn't bring one in on my property without going through the guy that has my municipality.
No, yeah.
In his trapping district, and I can't use anybody else.
No, you're right, that's
Right.
100%.
I can't.
You'd have
Unless
to.
that's changed, but,
That was last year and I couldn't. I had to use the gentleman.
I mean, that. $600 could be taken out, and that, you know, if.
I already did.
So are we taking that out?
If we didn't get any beavers last year and it's not looking like we're getting any this year, let's take it out. We have miscellaneous for $1,500, which I think is high too. Oh, no, we did go over last year. That's what okay.
And we didn't touch the beavers.
Yeah.
No, we
We should be
didn't.
leaving the beaver,
I
and that
think
amount that should be left in.
you're gonna.
I
you're gonna-
agree,
You could easily have an issue tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think, I don't have it with me here, I think it's $125 a beaver. So it's $600, they're only gonna get us, what's that?
Four and a half,
Beavers. I think it went up to 150.
four and a baby.
Yeah, it's if I may, through you, Madam Mayor, it's a minuscule amount, $500 for a little bit of security. Just in case,
sure.
and it can be carried over to the next year.
you get a beaver problem, you'll get 5 of them in one creek.
Oh, I know, I have a beaver problem, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so that first section of Public Works, on the first page, does anyone have any concerns or questions?
None.
None. Okay, so then we're at the garage. Anything there
One,
on the first section? You're back
oh,
in?
what section are you in here?
At the first section, the first.
Yeah, the operating.
Bigger
The
one.
top half of the page.
Operating.
Okay,
You're already on the next page, so
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah.
So everybody's fine with the garage?
Yeah.
Okay, trucks. I think we need to discuss this because we have a truck that we keep spending a ton of money on. And we at least have to consider the options. Oh, don't look at me blankly, the truck that we
well, I'm
keep,
looking at you blankly because okay, what truck are you talking about?
well,
Western
what,
Star.
yeah, the Western Star,
Star, right?
I mean, it just keeps costing us money and it shouldn't, but it does. So I think we should at least,
Buy another one?
You don't wanna look at a new one.
I don't wanna buy a new one. I don't wanna spend tons of money, but the truth is we keep burning a lot of money on this truck. Counselor J. Petit,
I'd like, our superintendent's opinion on this.
Sure, that actually would be super useful.
So just, I mean, this 24,000, it's not broken down here, like, just licensing fee for that truck is, I think, $4,000 or $4,500 a year, just the sticker of the license plate. So, and then there's design and safety inspections, which have to do with any truck. That's a huge amount of money as well, let alone whatever repairs need to be done for it to pass its safety, so. And fuel is another huge part of this $24,000. The cost of fuel is going through the roof in that truck. One day of plowing, I have to fill the tank up twice, it's a small tank, so that's how much fuel it goes through, so a huge chunk of that budget for that truck is not just breakdown repairs, it's just general maintenance and licensing fees yeah.
Well, you have also said yourself that it seems like,
Oh, it's a lemon,
yes,
there's no doubt about it, and.
it should be working
Oh.
better than it is.
It's got, I think it's had 60,000 kilometers, that's a brand new truck, literally, when it comes to a big heavy duty commercial truck, they do hundreds of thousands of kilometers before you have any issues, so it's just a lemon. What's their options, selling it economically for it and spend another $300,000 on a new
How
one?
can we really not get anything for it if we only have a few thousand kilometers on it? I mean,
Well, you could probably get something for it, but the price of a new one will be double what you're getting for that one.
Double, triple.
I'm just saying, let's talk about options. You could buy used, which who knows what you're getting then.
Yeah, buy another one.
Yeah,
You gotta use one now.
Better the demon you know than the demon you don't.
well, I mean, I'm fine with it, but we just have spent a lot of money on it when it shouldn't. Counselor Despatie?
I've got another question for the superintendent. So, last time we spoke, you were telling me you were going to make some inquiries about this sensor that blew twice within a year.
Yeah,
How did you make out with that? You're still working on it?
no, I spoke to the service manager there, and the last email I got, I was off last week, I checked on my emails this morning, to see if she replied, the last email I got from her a few weeks ago, but she's gonna look into it and call me back, and I've never heard from her. They resent us the invoice again this week, so I mean, I haven't paid it. Yeah, it's a center that they replaced a year and 30 days ago, and their warranty is only good for a year. But the truck only has, my argument was that maybe 30 days over the year warranty, but the truck only has 5,000 kilometers on it since last February, when they replaced the sensor, it has 5,000 kilometers, that has to mean something. So I haven't heard, I'm not only that they're paying it, but they're still.
Still working on it.
All right, well, yeah. I mean, obviously, the original sensor has been in the truck since we bought it, so it's lasted 10 years, and now the last sensor didn't even last a year, so it's quite obviously something wrong with the part
Yeah.
that they replaced, so
I
I think
agree.
it should be. This should be covered in that cost plus the, labor line, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, I don't know what to say, I mean, maybe this year, we'll get a year worry-free out of it, who knows? I don't know. And all the parts that have gone wrong with that truck over the past, it's nothing that could be maintained anything, it's nothing that, for lack of grease or for not changing oil, it's all computerized stuff, you know what I mean? That you couldn't foresee it breaking, and it's nothing you could do to maintain it, to make it last longer, it's not like racing apart, there's no maintenance on the part. Yeah, so I think, a friend of mine, he's a mechanic for MCON, the highway yard in McCarroll, all their trucks are Western Stars. And they have a hard life, obviously those trucks are running 20 hours a day all winter, they've never had any of the problems we've had. So we got a lemon, it's not that it's a bad truck, it's just, I don't know, Monday morning truck, I guess, or it's just a lemon, I mean. Yeah. You would hope that eventually all these parts that are breaking down, we don't have to replace them again, but,
So the last line there, we have backhoe repairs at $4,000. Last year we spent $2,000. Do you really think you may need all 4, or you want to cut a little bit there? I don't know historically how much the backhoe has cost.
I think probably the majority of that $2,000 last year would be fuel, and I think we didn't have any repairs done to it.
Okay, so if you have a repair,
Yeah, and there are some minor repairs that could be done to it. It's not necessary to be done this year, but I'm sure the majority of that $2,000 we have purchased, filters, what have you, that we change the filter ourselves, air filters, what have you, and the rest of it would be fuel. Or good part of it would be fuel.
okay, on the next page, does anyone have any questions about lawn equipment, truck?
Can I stay on that page for a second?
Sure.
You went
You-
down, the biggest difference there is on the Ford truck, and you never questioned it at all.
The Ford, okay, well, you go ahead.
I just wonder why we took
Yeah, that's a good question.
the jump.
So we've got 14,000 to spend on the Ford truck for fuel, oil and maintenance, and I can see on the side it says body work. Sander repairs and body work, so,
So last year and the year before, we replaced both front fenders. They wouldn't pass a safety because they had a hole in the exact spot on both sides. It's obviously an issue with their design. Last year, when I went for its annual safety, the rocker panels, the tin piece that goes along under your doors is, it's not a structural part. It was in very rough shape. I was surprised that it passed its safety last year, but it did. The mechanic said there's a good chance it probably won't, because it's obviously worse now than it was last year. He said there's probably a good chance it won't pass this year. You've got to get those rocker panels changed. And both the driver's door on this truck has the bottom corner of it is rusted out. I didn't budget for a new door. That was for just getting it, getting it patched up somewhere. But it's probably gonna need some welding on the rocker panels on both sides, or they're wrong.
And you got marked there, the sander repairs. What are we doing with it?
So the sander, I had the sander running it. There's no miles on it. It's a Honda motor on
Yeah.
it. We haven't used it for many, many years. There's no reason. Well, there is a reason, because the big truck's broken down so often, but prior to the big truck breaking down, I can sand even our smallest parking lot with the big truck. So because it hadn't been used for a lot, like anything, if it sits, it starts to corrode and seize up. The engine is burnt. We had it running a few weeks ago. We spent half an hour working on it, got it running. The clutch part that operates, it takes it from the engine to the sander. It's needs to be replaced. It's all corroded and seized. Hopefully, the Honda dealer and that's all, because it's a Honda motor. And I explained what we had done, and I had budgeted $2,000, I think it was, for the sander, and he didn't think it would be half that. Because like I said, the engine runs great. So yeah, so maybe $1,000 for at the most, at the very most.
And we just
I
had
think it runs like
bad,
a top.
we had bad luck with the truck broke down in a storm at the same time. And
Yeah,
people were calling, why would we sand the roads?
yeah,
We need them both.
yeah.
Okay.
okay, at the top of the page, anything there?
The truck rental, what is that?
I asked about this. Historically, we've always had it because, when we had our truck break down last year, that's
Or I think it was, well,
a
2 or 3
few,
months, or no, we didn't have a vehicle. That was when the truck needed an engine
Oh,
replaced.
yeah, okay.
So,
So they've always
if we
had
don't
that.
use the truck this winter, this year, we don't need the truck rental amount in there.
And then on the gravel pit, are we gonna do that rehabilitation
Or
or?
do you like it? No, that's your.
It's not looking like it. I mean, of course, that decision is up to us. I mean, as we get into the other budget, I think our CAO is recommending, other things. The gravel pit coordinates with the
The ditching?
ditching in Sand Bay, and if we're able to do the road going into Sand Bay, I actually think the residents of Sand Bay will be really happy if we fix the road, and We can talk about it later,
Okay.
but, well, or maybe this is the time. Is this when it comes up?
Sure.
Okay, so what do you think? Our CEO has taken it off the list. Is everyone fine with? Basically, we're just deferring the gravel pit rehabilitation and, our town superintendent it is costing us $700 a year to keep the gravel pit open. We want to close it, but it's just a matter of what big projects we want to do. Does anybody have an opinion about the gravel pit rehabilitation and basically, and the ditching? Councilor J.
Yeah, thank you. I spoke with a number of residents in Hyman. They weren't really concerned about having ditching done. It wasn't the main thing that they wanted done was a couple of spots on Sand Bay Road that are quite rough. That's what I got speaking to those people that day. I want to close the pit too. It's $700 we're spending but if we can use another project to combine with this closing of the pit, I think we should wait for $700. It's a cheap wait.
Mm-hmm. Any other comments on ditching and gravel pit?
No, I agree, that's what we should be doing.
Well, there we go. That's it. That's,
Did you want to do a resolution for that?
sure.
Those
We're
projects?
comfortable with doing a resolution.
If we did a resolution, we're doing budget, I thought we just take it off. the
I
budget.
can, but if you want,
I thought that would be what you do.
Yeah.
okay. All right, so those are good. Those are out.
But thanks, for bringing it to our attention, because you're right, $700 a year adds up. And you can just see we've got that $80,000 there. Remember last year we had earmarked it for the Sand Bay Road and then the quotes came in really high. And so that was put into reserves and that is it showing up again. Any other questions on that page? And then, okay, so over the page, we go to garbage and recycling collection, which is not inexpensive. Yep,
We went ahead,
sorry, I asked.
yeah, I know, we didn't look up.
That's okay.
Street lighting. I just wondered here
Okay,
what we are doing.
do you want to speak to that?
Sorry,
New light on Birch Street.
Oh,
Oh,
that-
that should have been taken
That
out.
shouldn't be there.
That
That's a
shouldn't be
year
there.
ago.
Oh,
So we're not doing it?
We
A
have,
lot of these comments are from years ago. They could be removed. Did that light was replaced?
So we're not having a $2,000 budget?
Oh, that's for repairs. That's for maintenance of our streetlights.
oh, okay,
Just,
well, that makes it more clear.
For maintenance?
lot of sense.
Okay. Okay, but we didn't spend anything on it last year for the streetlights.
no.
no,
No. So that's just for repairs. Like if we have a streetlight that goes out,
Yeah,
we have to call the company to come and fix it. And that was,
oh,
we have two streetlights out in there and they've been out for quite a while. Our policy was we don't call the contractor until we have three out because it's expensive for them to come from where they come from with all their equipment for two lights that we had agreed years ago. We hold off till there's three lights out. So that's why we didn't do any repairs last year. So we had two lights out. And then at some point this year, we'll take a ride around town and see if there's any more.
so you need the 2,000.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, any other questions, Counselor Austin, on that page? We're turning the page, everybody. Okay, so garbage and recycling, anything, waste disposal site. I had to ask about the wells on that first line. I guess there's wells around our landfill that have to be tested and our town superintendent actually negotiated a lower rate for us. I think we knew about it, but like last year. And you can see the dozer was really expensive. It had an issue. And needed to be fixed. Hazardous waste day is expensive. but I guess somebody uses it because we're only billed for our community's usage.
It's all right, it goes by household, so whenever Amy goes to the hazardous waste cleanup, you have to give them your name and address. And then the bills accordingly by how many households show up.
Yeah, I was hoping we could just get rid of it, but I guess not. Well,
We'll take it all to your house then.
yeah.
Then what's gonna happen then, all that environmental stuff going on in the landfill site,
Yeah,
old oil and batteries and,
yeah.
you know.
Any comments on this page at all? Any questions? So I think that's
The
it.
communities, like
Where,
the facilities. Who's gonna stay?
sure,
So that'd be ending in 070.
okay.
You would take care of that.
So if we go to 070. Then at the bottom, I guess, not really,
Ball field, beach, boat launch.
Yeah. yeah, that's rec, that's at the top. So that's not under, but further down at the bottom, there's the ball field, the electricity for the ball field. That's quite high. Do we have like streetlights in there for the
But
electricity?
that's just, what do you call it? That's the minimum for having electricity. What do you?
Oh,
Just the
wow.
hookup,
So we're,
you
know,
know, like hookup. and
Delivery?
Delivery.
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah,
This
there
is-
is.
we don't
You
use
could
it.
have,
Is there any way we can cut it off? Cause who's,
Oh, yeah, we can cut it off, but then if we ever need to have it crew back up again, then they have to go do an inspection of the plant of the building, and then they're gonna say, oh, no, that didn't meet code and blah, 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 so. Yeah, but no, so that's all
it's
delivery.
$400.
yeah, but I mean, who's using it? Nobody.
Well, hopefully, at some point they will.
Hopefully with a new playground and a new ball field, there might be somebody that wants to use hydrogen.
Just saying.
Well, you could, next budget, we'll need 10,000 to get it back on. Remember this.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just an idea. We're here
I
to,
know.
but I know as rec, we would like to use it, but even if we're purposely trying to use the pavilion, we're not, like, maybe it's 2 events a year. It's really. Okay, so next page, are you good with the recreation?
Number 18.
It's the numbers ending 070. So there was the ball field, the playground. And then if we go over the page, there's the beach. Anything ending 070.
Find it.
Oh, you numbered your pages. That would
Yeah.
be Smart.
Cause I had to. When they're all over the floor. Oops, I- I looked at it.
It's on 18. They got a number.
Is it eight?
Near the back.
Ours were?
They're not supposed to have a electronic on.
Oh, well, I have to hang up. Sorry, I'm in a council meeting.
Oh, wait, I got the 2 o'clock.
Sorry. Okay, we found it? Okay, so are you on the page starting beach and boat launch? Oh, you look like you're on the right page.
I am just,
Okay,
we're still. Okay, we're still zero on our lease.
0 on our lease.
That's a good price.
Oh,
To the beach.
did you wanna pay?
No,
Bring it up again.
We can
we'll
bring it,
actually-
we can bring it up.
So any comments or questions?
I never got down to check, but do our washrooms, they haven't looked, they need repairs down there or anything, or
Yes,
they,
they've ripped off the bottom hinge. I don't know how you do that, actually.
I know the door needs to be removed and repainted. We put that door on a couple of years ago. The last door was destroyed, so we got that door for our landfill site. I see all the paint peel off it, so someday soon we're gonna take the door off. I didn't know the hinge was broke. but-
Yeah, they broke the hinge, and actually the water is very high on the beach.
Well, it's the season right now. right?
Yeah.
Everything's high.
It's really high.
We're lucky it's high.
Yeah,
I was referring to the washrooms at the ball field.
oh,
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I thought you were talking the beach, sorry.
Oh,
I haven't
No, I
seen
know
the
that's
wash,
bad down there.
I haven't seen the washrooms at the ball field, have you?
No, I was gonna go. up and
I did,
never got there.
I went by, they were fine. I could. I
Well,
didn't, I didn't open them up to look inside, but the
They
doors
were
were closed.
punched for 6 months, I'm sure they're pretty trivial to get it.
Well, my only thing is that you're putting, or you wanna put a new playground down there and everything, we wanna make sure we got proper washroom facilities.
I think they just need to be cleaned up from the last time I looked, like the outsides were all good, I think, eh, there?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Then I get the spiders out. and-
Yeah,
Oh, I
it just
didn't
needs to
give
be
it a clean.
brushed out and, or power sprayed.
Okay, any comments on this page? Everybody really likes paying $1,700 for an additional camera in the rink area, cause I don't. I think that's a lot of money.
Well. I'm here through you. I think security cameras are, the future. I happened to go to the bathroom at McDonald's in Chelmsford. And, they had both their bathrooms destroyed by young kids. So they lock them up now and you have to ask for the key. So I think those cameras, it might not save us any money, but if something does happen, we probably would have the evidence to convict whoever is damaging our property.
We do have existing cameras down there. It's just not right in the doorway. So that little, and there has been damage done in that area. Counselor McDonald, did you have something?
No, I'm just listening to him there.
Okay,
But
Like the
there
ones
is
with,
cameras out there now.
there are cameras, yeah.
There's beer cans we pick up on that, under that roofed area, there's cigarette butts, the damaged sign, the security sign we have in the siding, it's been all bent, and obviously the box that you guys have bought for the walls, that was damaged and broken and.
Yeah, it
I
was
think-
damaged.
I think kids are using that little roofed area for like to hang out with the buddies type thing, because. But we don't know that, because cameras don't point that way, but.
I mean, if I'm completely honest, we've had damage previously on the ring. We did have cameras on the area and I was told that it wasn't worth looking at the cameras to find out who it might be. So if we're not really using our cameras that are already existing, why, like, and maybe these, we're talking about more modern cameras that will be easier to
This
use.
was just one camera that we're talking about, the one is not cameras, the one that we're, not $700 is for one camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we already have existing.
Yeah, there's two more there, or
Yeah.
two outside, one inside, which work good, they have a good view of the playground and part of the rink. Yeah.
Yeah, over the years there, we had cameras out there, but not, their cameras are not good enough to identify somebody. That's what we found over the years.
So how old do you think these cameras are that we have?
Oh, these cameras were replaced not that many years ago, they're high definition. Whatever else, yeah, we had replaced the camera part, and, I'm not sure when, it's a number of years since I've been here. Cause the old cameras wouldn't show anything, cause there was the
That's what I
old
would,
technology, but the cameras that are on the cameras up there now are having updated.
I believe they were changed in 2018.
Yeah, it wasn't that many years ago, yeah. Yeah. So actually, the quality of these new cameras is phenomenal. I mean, when we had those break-ins a couple of years ago, when the neighbor's house was broken into,
yeah.
the camera caught those people, the picture was as clear as I am looking at you today,
Oh, okay.
clear as day,
I
so.
was going with the old camera.
Yeah, no, they're,
Counselor Austin?
I'm just thinking if we're putting the cameras into a confined area, are they gonna not get damaged if they're?
You mean the
You haven't
actual
got them up
camera?
out of the way, because you can't. They're gonna be in that little area.
There could be like boxes put around them though, that would
well,
stop some vandalism.
you know, there is a peak roof in that building that's fairly high. There's no way anyone would reach it without a big long pole or standing in something. I mean,
And you're gonna be on it doing it. It's not like it's sitting there, it's coming to the, it's
Oh,
going to
yeah,
the
yeah,
desk, it's going, it's not like
It's
it's.
dark in there at night,
Yeah.
you're gonna be on it.
My cameras,
There's a light there.
my cameras at home, take a fantastic picture at night. It's unbelievable. I don't know how it's not, I don't know how they do it. There's no light on my camera, but phenomenal picture.
It does seem like a lot of money to put one camera in.
It does, like, I mean, you can get a little home security, which maybe is less quality, but it does seem to be a big.
The problem is you need the internet to run those cheaper cameras. You need
Mm.
Wi-Fi. So there's no
Correct.
Wi-Fi out there.
So how does everyone feel about the 1,700 for a security camera? Yes, that's a yes.
I'm okay.
We're upvoted.
and maybe also, other than just being a security thing, maybe it would help us down the road as a liability thing. If someone was to get hurt and say, oh, they tripped over a broken piece of curbstone, whereas the camera actually sees them tripping over a beer bottle. That's another option. It's not just for damage, it's for.
Yeah, for defense. Okay, yeah, the three of them are fine with it, so it's on record. I'm kidding. Okay. And then we have summer student employment. Any questions there? Okay,
What was that?
Is this
summer student was at the bottom.
Is that updated? That's what we're getting 2 students?
It hasn't been confirmed yet. I would actually be shocked if we get 2 students. I'm expecting more 1 or none.
Because of
Just
issues
because of
last year.
issues in the past. We've had issues for the last 3 years, so. And they've questioned us pretty stringently on what happened. So. I'm hoping for 2, but I would expect 1. I'll have an update on that for sure, whenever we talk about this next.
And then if we go over the page with just all maintenance and cleaning supplies. Security is there, water tank rental. Any questions or comments?
Are we paying that much for that, having that phone sit there?
Yeah, we are, and it's necessary, I asked, but thank you for,
It's an insurance.
Yeah.
but I thought that was a lot of money as well.
Yeah, most people have cell phones nowadays, but there is the off chance that there's an event.
Yeah.
Maybe none of them have their phones. I mean, that's pretty rare these days, but
Right.
they do have to be able to call 911.
I've-
Public facility.
I had questions about the floor stripping and wax, because don't we have a machine that will do wax removal and
No.
we don't?
The machine that we purchased, I'm sure 3 or 4 years ago, is for washing and buffing. It does, you can actually add a little bit of waxing with the water just to pump it up, but it's not a. At the time, because that was a fairly expensive piece of equipment we bought, I thought at the time you could buy a machine that did everything, like strip There's no such thing, it's one or the other, so we would have had to have bought a machine which just stripped and does, and then nothing else. And then buy another machine which applies the cleaner and buffs the floor and buffs the floor. So we opted to go with the machine if we could get more use out of it, so,
Because you really only need to strip it once a year, right?
yeah, so last year we hired a commercial cleaning company, janitorial company to come and do it. I've never done it, but I've heard from previous janitors and public works staff, it's a massive job to strip this floor. It's very, very time consuming. It takes days to do it. And at the end of the day, nothing against the people who did it, but it never looked that professional. So it cost, what is it?
Um,
2110 last year.
Yes, we have 2,500 in the budget this year.
I think off the top of my head, I think it was like, was it $1,200 or something to have? It was a lot.
It was a little bit higher, I feel like,
Yeah.
but they
But
also
they did a fantastic job and
told
it's
us
a
they
once a year,
underquoted us,
a
so.
once a year thing. And it wasn't just the floors, when they were in here doing the floors, they shampooed all the office carpets.
That's right.
And, so that was one there, I guess.
Okay. Oh, I think we should remove the $500 for kitchen supplies. Unless superintendent disagrees with me, but I feel like, the budget for recreation, if we have something specific we need, for in the event, we can buy it out of the rec budget, right? But we have,
We've already spent some of that money. So
okay,
we've
Oh,
spent 200
200
of it so far.
okay, so we can lower it to 200.
But
might
what
not-
happens if we rent the hall out?
They use what's here or they buy other things, like,
So
so they,
we run up in June, if we say, and I don't know how often we're renting the hall, I'm just saying, being devil's advocate for $300. If we run out of cleaning supplies in August.
this isn't cleaning supplies, this
That's
is
what you
just
said.
dishes.
Well, it says kitchen supplies, but essentially all we use that line for is like replace, because sometimes we have hall rentals and things walk away sometimes.
Oh, for sure.
So,
Break things, burn
or things,
they're
burn out or whatever. So, we've had to replace a coffee maker here or there and can opener and some big bowls walked away. So that's what that budget's for.
And use salad bowls. Anyway,
But yeah, I approved 200 of that to be spent already for cooking class supplies.
I just find rec is what generally uses the kitchen the most from our community, and we have a good amount of money at our disposal. Maybe that doesn't help kitchen or our staff that is maybe using the kitchen often, but
It's not for us, it's just to keep things up in there.
so do you want to lower it to 200 or do you want to keep it at 5?
leave it where it is for that difference.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else on this page? We're over, I guess that's it for public works. So anything else for our superintendent before he leaves?
I was here last week when we were doing this generator. Did we get everything?
We've talked about it,
I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Oh, they did the backup generator here the other day,
Okay,
and I happened to be here and it was, I don't know exactly how long, 45 seconds from when the power went out to the generator come on. And they said, that's not suitable at all. If you have a hall full of people here and 45 seconds in the dark is very hazardous. And at the same time, our emergency lights didn't come on.
so we've discussed that issue. The superintendent's gonna be looking into the lights. I got the report today from the generator maintenance. The technician recorded 30 seconds.
30, okay.
And he said that was within the acceptable range for that model, so But you're right, the lights, no emergency lights coming on is an issue, and we're gonna look into what needs to be fixed.
Yeah, I didn't realize until Linda mentioned this morning that the exit light, like all these exit lights are working. I change the bulbs regularly, they go through bulbs like crazy because they're on 24/7, but I didn't realize that the exit light above the double doors there actually went out when the power went off, so that's kind of a defeats the purpose. So, I'm gonna have to call an electrician to look at that. And as for these, brass colored spotlights, I'm assuming they worked at some point. I didn't know they didn't work, so. I checked the breaker today to see if anybody had just accidentally flipped turn the breaker off. All the breakers are turned on and not one of those panels in that electrical room is marked. To tell you what it is, so
The spotlights were just working not that long ago.
these brassy colored
All
ones.
the young ones.
Oh, yeah, no, these spotlights, these I get.
No emergency.
I get-
Emergency.
I get the emergency.
Yeah.
Oh,
So there's a set there, there's a set there, there's one over there.
Mom with power.
They should, yeah.
You know.
Okay, so I don't think we're cutting anything from your budget, are we, in the
Other
end?
than the gravel pit.
The gravel pit,
Ditching on Sandy.
yeah. But that's, oh, actually, we were hoping to schedule, another public works meeting and, wondering how soon you wanted to do that, if there was, and we could only talk about budget today. But depending on how satisfied you are with the issues we brought up with our superintendent, how soon do you want another public works meeting? We are April 22nd. You want one before summer?
I'd
or
like to see one,
June?
so we get an update on it as to what is happening.
Okay,
And
Yeah, because lots of times the taxpayer calls up, we don't have a clue what they're talking about.
Yeah.
well, that could change day to day too.
well, I did, yeah, but there, what he has planned for different works or what's happening.
So,
And also at that, meeting, I had, talked to our building inspector after our last meeting. And he said he would love to attend after and give us an update on his stuff as well.
I'm interested in the bylaw officer as well.
Yeah, I have him scheduled. to be
Oh,
coming
good.
soon.
So does sometime in June work for you?
Yep, don't matter.
Okay, so does Monday afternoon at 3 PM, does that work for you?
Our June meeting is what, on the 3rd? I think it got changed to the 3rd.
It did. What time
Yeah, that
is
was because
your
of you, I
shift
think.
end, Eric?
Right?
What time's
Yeah,
your
because
shift
I'm
end?
away
3:30?
next week.
Well, I think we should be a little earlier,
I guess.
2:30.
Sorry, what, I missed that?
Well, he's done work at 3:30.
Okay,
You're scheduling a meeting for 3 o'clock.
Sure.
That's pretty tight.
okay,
Are we talking the same day as the council meeting?
Yes.
yeah, you wanna do that? We don't need to. But then we know everybody's here. So June 3rd at 2:30,
Council meeting on the 3rd?
Yeah, it got changed
Okay.
that much.
Counselor McVeigh, that works for you?
Yep.
Okay, so Public Works, 2:30, June 3rd, and if we could also have the building inspector come to that as well?
Okay, that's June 3rd at 2:30.
Mhm.
Okay.
Why so what are we expecting to hear from the building inspector?
Just what is happening around town that, like, he's told us of, different,
Issues.
issues with the. I guess
Yeah,
it
we
shouldn't
can't
be-
say.
It shouldn't be making.
Yeah, we can't
you know,
say.
permit
We
issues
understand.
and stuff. And
So different properties,
decommissioning issues, yeah, he
okay,
can update us on that stuff, that's all I'm asking.
That should be
Okay.
discussed in closed session. though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
So that should be at a regular
Well,
council
that's why I
meeting.
don't wanna, but we can close it after and have a closed session.
You're gonna have a closed session in a committee meeting?
Well, after it's, yeah, when. If it's. for
Or
him.
we could have him come on June 3rd at the regular council.
regular council, you don't have to have 2 closed meetings.
Yeah.
If you're asking them to come at night after hours. When's that extra?
Well, right now we're paying a flat rate for him, so.
It's not gonna be- He's around during the day and he can
Yeah.
plan to be here for that day.
Well, he said he'd be more than happy to come to a council meeting, so.
Sure, whatever works. If you think we shouldn't be going into closed session except in our council meeting, then that's what we'll, especially if we want to hear about specific properties.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll try to schedule him for June 3rd.
And you've already got the bylaw officer in the work.
In the works, yeah.
Good. All right, well, thanks for coming. Thank you for all of your hard work, and it was a good budget.
Okay.
So next we come to the budgets coming up. I think there is a little bit, there's our wish list with a 14.19% increase. Of course, we're not doing that. That's a wish list. And we have it, it's been recommended by our CAO for a 3.25 tax increase. I think there's a little bit more work that can be done. But at this time, we're going to is there a motion that I need to receive
Yeah,
to?
so you're going to fire budget
Mhm.
now, or do you want to consider the rest of the meeting?
Just so that we leave? That's the only advantage I could see.
Oh, just. No. I'm not sorry, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, I just.
No, that's fine.
So you want to move to fire?
Yeah,
Okay,
Counselor Despatie, Counselor McDonald was chair for that previously. Do you want to be chair this time? So I think we need a motion. Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Does it matter who moves it?
just someone, I guess.
That's not declaring a conflict.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's, that's mine, but you can have it. You want a copy? I can go make a copy. of it.
Hang on, you can use mine.
Oh, here, I'll go make you a copy really quick. Of both, the wish list and the. There's
No,
only,
no, the wish list is.
I have a paper copy
Wish
if you
list?
want, but I have,
The wish list is even too rich for me.
Okay, so the first cut then. Okay, sounds good. I'll be right back.
okay, so I guess, yeah. Moved by Counselor McDonald, seconded by Counselor Austin, be it resolved that Counselor Despatie chair the meeting due to Mayor Amy Maisy declaring a pecuniary interest with the following agenda item. Other business item 11A, draft 2024 fire department wish list and first cut budget options. All in favor? That's carried. Ron done?
I am calling, the fire department budget meeting to order at, 3:17. All in favor? Carried. All right, there's only three of us, so any issues with, our fire department budget?
Well, I don't know, who is there to talk to? We don't have a fire chief.
We don't have the fire chief here, that's correct. I didn't invite him, I didn't know I was gonna chair.
Well, you're a citizen.
Do you have any concerns, Counselor Ross?
Well, okay, vehicle maintenance. We had, $4,500 last year And we used 0, and this year it's 6,000.
Well, that is a
Well,
question.
Melinda has to explain it to us, I guess.
Through you, Mr. Chair.
Absolutely.
I have some concerns as well. There's a lot of things being budgeted for, as you see in 2023, that nothing was spent.
Or half was spent.
Or half was spent. I feel like this budget, although I certainly appreciate the fire chief taking the time to prepare it, that he's just throwing some numbers at us, and I feel he could be a bit more concise with what he's doing with certain things. With that being said, with the things budgeted last year and not being spent, that goes into an accumulated surplus that is available for our use or to put in reserves.
Yeah.
But, I do have some concerns with budgeting and then not doing the work.
Yeah. I agree.
So I think there could be some fat trimmed off this budget.
Can we just plain ask our fire chief to, give us some more precise numbers?
Yeah, or if you have a dollar amount that you'd like him to trim off. Like,
Well, see,
I've taken a quick look and I feel like there could be at least $7,000 or $8,000 trimmed out of this budget.
Yeah.
But he might not agree with me.
and that's the thing, I hate to pick a number, because I'm not sure, he can't explain why he needs certain things, because he's not here, and, like, there's quite a few items that are budgeted at a lot more money than last year, so perhaps, my suggestion would be have them rework it and possibly be here when
The
we're
next-
looking at it.
Yeah.
Counselor Austin?
I can update or kind of speak on some of these things that I'm even questioning. Truck 732. I know it had damage a couple years back and they've been planning to get it fixed, but probably scheduling is the big thing, to take a fire truck out of service.
Out of service, yeah.
And it didn't get done in time. I don't know why it went up $1,500 from the estimate from the year before.
Yeah, I don't know.
And truck, 743. Now, that confuses me.
What's it, pump repair, so.
Yeah, but 743,
In-house pump.
743 is here, 732 is at Sand Bay,
Yeah, 732 is in San Bay.
but it says 743, it's Hyman.
Is Hyman?
Yeah, I think that's wrong.
Typo?
I think that's a typo. He just has
Okay.
Hyman on the wrong truck.
No,
And I know they have to take the pump apart, and they're planning on doing it themselves, but it's, who knows what the costs are,
Yeah,
but I think, in my own opinion, we can lower that a bit ourselves.
okay, well, do I have a motion to have them trim 7%, 10%?
Well,
Yeah.
let's just give figures.
Yeah, I can
Put
prepare.
the 732 back to 4,500. Just
For one example, okay?
and the second one, the 743. Drop it back to 3,000 or whatever. They spent some last year on it on. Again, I get confused, I'm sorry, Belinda, but we had with the public works or the superintendent, the notes on here were from last year. It kind of confuses you when you're.
Well, the reason why we leave some of the notes from last year is so we can see what we spent the money on last year.
But we're looking and thinking, well, that's for this year.
well, that's, I would think.
But some of them, you're right, some of them are for this year. There maybe could be a better way we could do that, but to fit everything on the page is difficult when you have notes from last year and this year.
Yeah,
So sorry, pumper 732 brought back down to 4,500.
if we do happen to run over, we run over, but you can never guess on anything, mechanical repairs or anything when you're fixing them.
No,
When you go to a garage and it's 125 or 140 an hour to work on a piece of equipment, it don't take long to add up, sort of, unfortunately.
what about the 743?
I would say put it back to, well, give it 3,000,
That's what I got.
okay.
Is that what you'd like me to put on the resolution?
Do we need that resolution? We just cut it.
No, well, I like when we make little changes like this,
Yeah.
that we have it on paper.
Okay.
Truck. 743 to 3,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
733 is kept it reasonable. You gotta allow for breakdowns. Unfortunately.
well, and there's licensing too,
Yeah.
like the public works, like
No,
we
the-
pay a lot for licensing.
Fire trucks don't.
Oh, there's no licensing on those ones?
The
And
only-
no
the-
inspections?
The inspection. Yeah.
Inspections.
But those vehicles average 500 kilometers a year. And you gotta do another mechanical. I fought when I was in there to get that changed and they wouldn't change it for. I said, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
It's like, we complain, but when you got equipment like that, it has to be pre-trip inspection every day.
The one
Truck
that,
don't leave the hall for 2 weeks, but you gotta inspect it every day.
Well, that's a little bit funny.
That's MTO rules. And you better have it documented. If somebody goes out, or if, for instance, you've got a fire call and they come to leave and they had a flat tire. When was it last checked?
Okay.
I know it's all in the cost, but
Yeah, I know, when I was in the fire department, in my truck inspection, you found a lot of little things that not working. Because you go over the truck, one time the battery was dead on it.
So CAO, do you have any other suggestions that, Where-
I do.
oh,
okay,
Through you, Mr. Chair, I have, some concerns with the $12,000 for fire hall maintenance and equipment in Nairn. We've spent a lot of money on that fire hall in the last 3 years. We did a full renovation on the training side. Last year, I know he did, a lot of drywall, or I don't know if it was necessarily drywall. He had to have all the insulation and the roof covered. I know that got done, but interior drywall and paint, and I know he said he had to do an antenna repair, but I really think $12,000 is a lot of money. For a building we've put a lot of money into the last 3 years.
yeah. So,
what
Okay.
would you recommend?
Like, I understand he wants to keep doing upgrades and
Yeah.
making things better, and that's exactly what we want him to be doing. But I find 12,000 is a little over the top, considering we spent 250,000 on that building in the last 3 years, so,
250,000?
yeah, with the renovations and,
Condition, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I know there's no eavesdrop on it.
So yeah, like things like
Not-
eavesdrops are important and antenna is important and keeping up, like, do a little bit each year. That's kind of my philosophy. But I don't know, perhaps we can ask him to take like 3 or 4,000 out of there. And just kind of,
4,000?
that would be my recommendation, but
Oh, yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'll agree with it.
Okay.
That's the trouble with not having department heads here.
Here, yeah.
He
I
can
agree.
explain what he wants or what they
Oh,
want.
yeah.
I agree.
found it very frustrating last year. We didn't have that kind of thing at all. That's what I was used to.
Well.
Anything else,
Uh, I just wanted to explain the second line in the fire department, salaries, wage loss, replacement and others. So, that's, the fire chief and I have discussed how to compensate our when we're onboarding new firefighters and they have to do all that new training on, it's like 100 hours online.
Yes.
So we tried to kind of come up with a way to compensate them somewhat for their time.
Yes.
So we took minimum wage, times it by how many hours they have to do. We made an estimate.
Okay.
So that's when we came out with the 2,500 that, that we can, the chief mentioned buy them gift cards for that amount, or if they want it in cash, they can have it in cash, whatever, however he chooses to do that with his staff. But that's what that is. I just wanted to explain that.
Thank you.
I thought maybe part of that covered just what we said, wage loss.
Yeah,
If somebody gets stuck at a fire and you're gonna lose hours from the regular
that's,
job,
some of it
they
is
were
too.
paid by the town for their time lost.
Oh, okay.
That can be rather expensive.
No.
We had no problem with valet. Oh, if we left work for valet, they paid it.
Okay.
Most companies are good for that, but not
Well,
all of
they-
them.
We had that argument, our discussion, and we kind of, Espinola and McCarroll, the valet employees didn't get paid.
Oh.
They got paid by us because they have a plant here. We maintain their plant,
Okay,
so that was their reasoning.
I understand. Looking after their own assets.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I'm okay with that $2,500. Counselor McDonald,
Yes, I'm good.
Counselor Austin, good, all right.
Also in the wish list, you may have noticed, we had, in capital fire hall, 26 or 25,000. 25,000 estimated for new asphalt in the parking lot. So that was the cut I made to this budget to get us into a reasonable tax increase. It's not horrible, doesn't need to be done, yes, but it's not, I don't feel is a huge priority this year. But I did get a quote from the company that's gonna be doing some road work for us. I had them come over. I thought, hey, if we're gonna get a good price, we're gonna get it from them. And that was their quote,
Wow.
which I find crazy. But
Isn't one lane they're costing us 15?
I know, that was my argument.
the
But there's,
laneway, yeah,
but they said this one, they have to dig down to
Deeper.
stop it from sinking again.
Aha, okay.
So a lot more,
More remedial work.
yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go back many years and that paved lot didn't cost the town a cent.
well, because it was done with volunteers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Firemen's Association paid for it.
Yeah.
The first time we put it in, and then, the second time we patched it, it was all covered, it was a donation.
so I've made that cut
Yeah,
as part of the reduction to get us down to that lower tax increase.
couldn't we? I know, it sounds, well, but couldn't we patch it? Could we just have them go on and level it up, seeing as they have the equipment here, and,
Well, that's something we can look into.
you know, I think.
Didn't we, put a budget in?
We did $5,000
Yeah.
last year, but it wasn't done, so.
Didn't get that,
Well, it's hard to, you have nobody around,
yeah.
but if you got an outfit here and if they can,
So we still have the 5,000 in reserve?
5,000 was put in reserves.
Okay,
Where-
okay.
if we can patch it with a little bit.
So
It
did we,
will do for some time period anyway.
so are you suggesting we pull 5,000 from reserves or just put 5,000 in the budget?
How bad is it? I didn't, never pay no attention.
Well, we end up with that
It's really
same problem.
stunk.
As soon as you get to the fire hall, you got a lip to back in. And the trucks, everybody doing that stops right in that hole. And then, oh,
Oh, I see, yeah, I
yeah,
see.
remember we had that
Yeah.
a few times. It's,
So what do we do? Put it in the budget or use the 5,000 reserve?
I would say just leave it as it is and talk to the fire chief, and if he agrees, we can patch it, we can pass a motion at another council meeting to.
We allowed to do that?
Sure.
All right.
So
It sounds makes more, rather than put it in the budget.
Okay.
We could have, the money we deducted already, put it back in.
Yeah.
Put it back. Well, we deducted,
5,000.
Yeah, 5,000.
a little more than 5.
Yeah.
We diverted.
I don't like to override the department head and say we're doing this, and
Correct.
kind of let him make that,
I agree.
if he wants the patch. For now.
Okay, any more changes to that one?
I can't see any of that. From my perspective,
Everything else,
Seems in line.
in my,
speaking from experience, you can't budget anything. Like he budgets it for equipment. He's gotta put it in his budget, but by the time it's approved, it's 6 months down the road. And the prices won't change.
they all think,
Unfortunately, that's something we all face.
yeah.
Okay, so.
Hey, could I get a mover? Councilor McDonald?
Yeah, we got two here.
Yeah.
Second by Councilor Austin. Be it resolved that council requests that following changes be made to the draft 2024 fire department budget. Vehicles, pumper 732, a budget of 4,500. Vehicle, truck 743, the budget be reduced to 3,000. The fire hall maintenance at Nairn budget be reduced to 8,000. And remove amount for paving of Nairn Fire Department parking lot. All in favor? Carried.
Return to chair.
All right, so we'll move by Councilor Austin. Second by Councilor McDonald. Be it resolved that Mayor Amy Mazie return to the chair of the council meeting. All in favor? Carried.
Good now. Okay, we're back to open session, or I don't know what, open, so it's not open session, we didn't.
You
go to
return
close.
to chair.
I'm returning to chair, and it's 3:40 PM on April 22nd, 2024. And now we're going to finish our review of the 2024 draft municipal budget. Okay, so I'm primarily, I'm not super interested in discussing the wish list. There are some items that are in that first, do they have the 2 copies?
They just have the first cut.
Okay,
That's all.
so.
Yeah.
Basically, with the first cut, we have to do, it's not optional, we have to do 20,000 into our asset management plan, and the other 20,000 will be for 2025. In this cut budget, there is a file network, server for, 12,700. And should we talk about the building condition assessment, which is originally quoted for 29,000?
Yeah, so that was for you, Madam Chair, that was included in my wish list.
We're just on the opening pages.
Oh. Couldn't tell what you're doing.
So in the wish list, I had put in, it's called the sorry, building condition assessment. This is something that every municipality is being recommended to be doing this year.
It's not mandatory.
It's not mandatory. It is just recommended as part of our 2025 asset management update. So what they would do is we'd have the consultant come in, inspect each and every one of our buildings, essentially looking for risk and things that we need to know that are, you know, maybe the roof needs to be replaced on one of them. Maybe one building has asbestos. I'm not saying there is. We need to know our risks. And that's also part of a requirement of our asset retirement obligations that have come in under the new PSAB rules. That's public sector accounting. So I had included it. I did pull it out, because I spoke with our building inspector and he has assured me he can give us just as comprehensive of a building assessment as any consultant would. And he can save us $29,000. So the only thing that it doesn't give us, he wouldn't be able to coordinate with our asset management as closely. I would have to be the go-between. But I'm willing to do that to save the municipality $29,000.
If I may, Madam Mayor, there will be a cost to him.
He would be willing to do it as part of his building inspection services, since we're paying a flat rate for him right now. I
Wow,
feel that that's in our
Well,
benefit.
that's a very good price. Let's go.
Yeah, it's just so awesome. I just thanked him because I had kind of known about it. And I actually asked if that was, and he was affirmative, but it's awesome that,
So it's a little bit more staff time than consultant time, but we're willing to do that to save the money.
anyone else feel like applauding right now?
Yeah.
Awesome. $29,000 saved. So in this, first cut list, we have the McDonald Street reconstruction still going. The completion of the old Nairn Road. Repairs to Sand Bay, just two areas on Sand Bay for $275,000. But what is removed is ditching in Sand Bay and the gravel pit rehabilitation, which we've already discussed. And in recreation, we're putting in the new playground. And that is covered by, grants, and that's moving forward. So if we look at our first page, it has payroll on the top. Any questions or comments here?
I would have a comment, Madam Mayor.
Sure.
I think with other municipalities facing 6% and 7% increases, I think our CAO did a fantastic job cutting this to 3 1/4, which is below the rate of inflation. So except for the fire part of the budget, I'm good with what's presented to me.
With what's presented. How do you feel about that, Councillor McVeigh?
I as well, fine with it.
You're fine with 3.5?
3.25.
Yeah. And actually,
Oh,
we've
sorry.
made further cuts to the fire department budget, so it'll be down a little bit, below 3.25.
Which will bring me to a crazy idea, Madam Mayor, if you would allow me. I believe this is an excellent opportunity with such a small increase in budget, that we start looking forward and maybe put in 0.5% of reserve planning into this, build it into this budget, so that we can do like we did my first budget. Councillor McDonald assisted me. We managed to bring the Public Works motor pools with a roughly $28,000 reserve fund that we started planning. And then fortunately, we had that money in the bank when our Ford broke and we were able to quickly pay that bill. So if we build 0.5% into this budget to make our municipality more healthy, I'd like some comments from some other councillors.
Well, maybe we could find out to start where our reserves are at.
So it'd be the last page,
The very last,
very last page.
because we always do have reserves.
Yes, we do understand that. But the purpose for my suggestion is we have two projects now that we can't afford. I certainly don't want my taxpayers to afford a 14% tax increase. But if we start planning 0.5% right now, and we have that money for perhaps not next year.
So what are the
Perhaps the
two
year.
projects that you're thinking of for the fire hall?
Actually, it's three: the fire hall, the ditching, and the putting away our pit.
But we also get a series of grants every year as well, don't we? Or maybe most of them are earmarked for roads.
Right now, they're all earmarked, but we do get gas tax every year. It's not a huge amount, it's around 22,000, I believe.
But you use that gas tax money somewhere else always.
I've allocated it up to this year, yes. Next year, we'll probably get a similar sized amount. We are allowed to allocate gas tax to fire halls. Perhaps we can use that for the parking lot next year.
Yeah.
But until I see what the actual approved amount is, it's hard to say.
Is that the only routine amount of grant that we?
Oh,
get?
no, we get, there's some that we get every year.
Yeah, that's
So
what I was.
they're built into our budget or revenues every year. Like, for example,
I don't know. 1%. I don't know
You know, what would 0.5% be
in dollar value.
like in dollar value? If
Um,
you did increase it, what would 0.5% get us? It gets us $3,000 or, yeah.
so if we kind of work. I don't have the numbers exactly in front of me,
sorry.
but. So say we take the first cut budget and add 0.5%. This is just a guess. You're gonna get approximately $6,000.
So $6,000 towards a future project. And then we'll see what happens next year. If we had $6,000 plus the gas tax, we'd have 25 if we get that car.
Okay, so back to my original question, we get 22,000 in gas tax a year. And where are you there? And I just know.
That's in our revenues are in our wish list budget.
Yeah,
So we get an Ontario Municipal Partnership Fund every year. It's usually around between 165,000 and 170. We get Ontario Community,
Are some of those earmarked for certain things? though?
yes, they have to, most of them are roads.
Right.
Gas tax you can use for roads and fire halls. The majority are roads.
Yeah.
that they're
Well, that's
earmarked.
well, that's our
Make sure.
biggest expense.
No, I
too.
just wanted to make sure that
Yeah.
everybody was abreast that it's not gonna be.
You can't just use it
We can't
wherever.
go use it to
yeah.
use it to do that reclamation of the pit.
Yeah, like on the Ontario Municipal Partnership Fund, we can use it for whatever we want. But that's the only,
So that was the 170,000. And are there any other funds?
that have no stipulations on what
Or
to use.
just, we're talking about reserves and money that comes in consistently, so.
So grants that come in consistently is federal gas tax, which is around 22,000.
Right,
The one we just spoke about, that's around 170,000. We get Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund. That varies, but it's been consistently 100,000, but that's only for roads. We get the library grant, which is $1,300.
and that just basically covers.
Covers what-
library.
Yeah, and then we have the blue box program, but that's gonna be transitioning, so. That's about it that come in consistently. The rest you have to go
So,
after.
yeah, so it's the 170 plus the 22 and then 100, that's it, so that's substantial. But,
But as part of this budget, I just want everyone to be aware, I've earmarked 274,000 as revenue from accumulated surplus. So we don't do that normally. It's been accumulating, the accountants say, okay, either you should use it to do some big projects or put it in reserves. I've decided to put it to pay for our Sand Bay project. So without that accumulated surplus, our tax rate would be a lot higher to get that accomplished. That's not something I would recommend doing every year. So normally, if you have accumulated surplus, it should be going into reserves.
Well, I think that's what Councilor Diekman, he's trying to say, is we put a 0.5% away and then we've got some money put away for. These jobs that still need to be done. We've agreed with the public works superintendent that we need to do. The reclamation, we know that anybody that's walked over to the fire hall and been on a rainy day, go inside the building. The water comes in the front because of the push down. It's gonna have to happen. We can't ignore it.
right,
So.
I mean, I don't think anybody is thinking we're not doing this ever. I think we have to be careful with our money and just. If we get to things, it might not all be in the same year, because we can't do that.
Well, that's what
That's my
he's
plan.
saying.
If
We're making a plan now
Plan
to do
again.
this in the future. Right now, we don't have a plan other than, well, maybe we can get to that another day. Right now, he's saying. Plan a little bit. Put some money away, so there's.
I think even with our budget or historically, we've had like 60,000 surplus a year.
So let's take that 60,000, let's do the job we gotta do then.
We
And
just
that's
did
what we're
that
doing
with Sand
this
Bay.
year.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we can't do these ones here, but next year, we don't wanna do that, we don't wanna take the money, right? If I'm understanding this.
Yeah,
Well,
wanna pull out of
there's
this every
still,
year.
you're not pulling it from any, I mean, you should have the 60,000 still there in surplus. You may not, like it might be 40,000. But you could still use it. There's no. You mean that's what we historically have just put into reserves? That's what you're saying?
different councils have done different things. They've either used it for a project or they put it in reserves. Our accountants recommend
Use it after so many.
either use it for a big capital project or put it in a reserve. They do not recommend that you use it just to keep your tax rates down on a yearly basis.
Thank you.
Kind of a one-off thing to use it for a capital.
Nope, that's it.
So what is our number for reserves right now?
Currently, the way the budget is set up for this year. So we had a pretty big, we're gonna have a big draw on our water reserves because of the water project, which has already been approved and that budget's already been approved. So January 1st, 2024, our total amount of reserves was $818,000, $818,391. And with this budget and the poll, be $666,197. So a good pull on reserves with this budget, but that's,
Sand Bay.
that is $80,000 coming out of reserves to go back to the Sand Bay project. That's 105 coming out of the water reserves for the water project. And 8,700 coming out of contingencies for the small amount of the Ontario Trillium Fund that we will not get till next year because of a holdback part of that grant for the playground. But we'll
So
put
we
it,
will get it.
but we will put it back next year. And I get the money from the grant.
Counselor Austin, do you have a question?
I just wonder. It's still the same, our water reserves are separate from the taxpayers.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we're just
We
looking
can't
at
mix them in.
total.
Yeah, I could do a separate total if you want.
Well, our water reserves is 26,000 approximately.
No, but when we do put money in reserves, we can't put it in
We can't put it,
Put
we
one
can't
thing
mix
for the
them up.
taxpayer.
Right,
to the water.
right. Water is
It has to be
separate.
self-sufficient.
Okay, so Counselor Day Petit is, I think you're recommending doing a full 3.75 tax increase.
Yes,
That's what
ma'am.
you're recommending.
Yeah.
Are you agreed with that?
I'm in agreement with it.
You're at, how
What
much?
is the cost of living?
3.9.
2.9. So we're on.
We're still low.
I got no problem.
So I'll just get a resolution to add 0.5%. So we'll be a little bit below that 3.75 because of the cuts, the extra
Good.
cuts we've made to
Okay.
there. So it will be under 3.7.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah, for the record, I don't actually agree. But I think we actually have a lot of money set aside for reserves and I wouldn't do the extra 0.5% increase for 6,000. I think we get a lot in other areas. But that's
Next
okay.
year, when you end up using it, you might change it.
Well, we can always spend more money, but that's okay.
any particular reserve you want it to go in, contingency or?
So,
Isn't there
do
just?
we have a project reserve?
We have a couple different ones. So we have working funds, we have a rink reserve, a ball field reserve, recreation reserve, recreation capital reserve. Contingency is our main one that we use. Then there's roads, road equipment, landfill, fire and water.
So if you put in contingency, can you use it for anything?
That's what I want.
Yes.
We don't want to be limited.
No. No.
We never know what's gonna happen in the future.
No.
Okay, Counselor JPG, do you want to first this?
It would be my pleasure.
Counselor McVeigh, second. I'm calling for a recorded vote. Moved by Counselor JPG, seconded by Counselor McVeigh, be it resolved that a 0.5% increase added to the municipal budget and placed to the contingency reserve. So we're not saying that it's approximately less than a 3.75.
Oh, we can.
increase.
You can, I
Can you
just
say it
don't,
approximately, or you just say 0.5 to whatever the budget is?
yeah,
Three-
to whatever
Yes, how do
it
you
is, that's what I.
justify that to-
But did you, if you want, I just don't know that exact amount because we've made cuts to the other
And Council
department.
DPT said just to add a 0.5%
0.5
to the
to
budget.
the budget,
As
whatever.
long as our budget is under 3.75.
Yeah.
I can add that in if you want. And it'll be passed at our next council meeting, or what's the plan for that? We have to have a public meeting to
Yep.
pass it.
Sure.
Doesn't seem like much, but it's a bit.
Yeah.
When we're looking at 100,000 and 200,000, so you had 6,000, it don't seem. Well,
Not
it's
much,
something.
but better than nothing.
Yep. We always allowed for what was left over and not spent at the end of the year, but
First up by Counselor Day-Petit, seconded by Counselor McVeigh, be it resolved that a 0.5% increase be added to the municipal budget and placed in the contingency reserve, and further that the municipal budget will be under a 3.75 increase and be passed at a be under a 3.75, it does say under. A 3.75% increase and will be passed at a public meeting on May 6th, 2024. So I'm calling for a recorded vote. Counselor Day-Petit, are you?
he's over.
Sorry. Counselor McDonald, I must have been,
I agree.
you're for Counselor Day-Petit,
I am.
Counselor Austin,
Yes,
Counselor McVeigh,
I am.
and I am against. It's carried. And do we do a procedural bylaw?
Yep.
Moved by Counselor Austin, second by Counselor McDonald, be it resolved that being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council of the corporation of the township of Nairn and Hyman be read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed in open council, its number shall be 2024-13. All in favor? Carried. Counselor Day-Petit, I'm gonna make the first. Moved by Counselor Day-Petit, seconded by Counselor McVeigh, be it resolved that the special council meeting of the April 22nd, 2024 do now adjourn at 4:05 PM. Again, on the 6th day of May, the 6th day of May, 2024, at the call of the mayor. All in favor? It's carried.